In this three-part series, I'm going to actually launch an entire funnel with automations for an automations workshop that I'm personally working on using FG templates along with the Launch Gorgeous template that was just recently launched. So stay tuned and build along with us. So for anybody that doesn't know what Launch Gorgeous is a program that Kathy and Julie run 2 to 3 times a year that actually help you launch your first funnel. And what's great about it is it's a done together program where you're doing it with a lot of people who are doing the same thing you are and they're just trying to launch their funnels. The most recent one was Easy Launch It, and that involved creating a workshop funnel. And today what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the build out. I'm also going to give you a sneak peek of the members area where you could see the different progression of how things get rolled out. And I actually think it's an incredible program for anybody that's like kind of stuck and not launching. The fact that you have the accountability also with a lot of the templates that they recommend you using, it makes the process incredibly easy for you to go through. And today in this 3-part series, we're going to focus on that exact build out. So for anybody that wants a sneak peek into the members area, let me get that up for you. As you can see, this is a full-fledged area. It goes over weeks and it starts literally with first getting acclimated to what product you're going to sell, how you're going to go ahead and sell it. Then it focuses on the actual build out of the funnel, which we're focusing on today. And then it even walks you through launching your ads and how to launch your ads and create your ads for it. And then actually building the workshop itself that you're going to be delivering to your customers. It's a full system with a lot of instruction and a lot of templates to help you through the entire process to, again, make it as easy as possible for the customers. Now, here's the thing that I'll tell you. If you have FG funnels, the process is even easier because a lot of the templates are going to be included inside of FG funnel when you buy the program. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go straight into focusing on the building part of this, and I'm going to go directly into FG funnels. Now, when you first purchase any Launch Gorgeous product, you're going to immediately go into sites, and you're going to notice that the funnel, the share funnel of the funnel assets are going to be located in here. We're going to focus a lot on that today because that's where we're going to start. And then you're also going to notice that the automations are also here in a folder and labeled whatever the Launch Gorgeous program is for this part of the year. Now, I'm going to go straight into sites. And the first thing I tend to do whenever I'm doing any kind of these Launch Gorgeous products is I go to the funnel assets and I go ahead and hit the little square with the little arrow out of it inside of FG funnels, and it's the preview page. Inside the preview page, what I definitely do is grab all these different items and I look through the videos and also the primary codes that you see here, because if ever you get stuck in anything regarding the funnels, you can immediately go here and it's easily solvable, or you can figure out where you're stuck on. Now, I've already downloaded the assets folder, and what that assets folder looks like is it comes in a zip drive and it immediately comes in here when you unzip it. Now, the one thing that I focus on the most, because I just like to launch a little quicker, is I go to the stock photos. You're going to notice that the stock photos all named stock 1, 2, all the way to 9, and it has the sizes associated with each of the photos. So the reason that's important is because if you're using Canva like I am, you could take these sizes and resize all your images. Now, the way I do it in Canva is I do create a design, and you could use a free version. I just select anything, desktop wallpaper, really honestly doesn't matter. And then I immediately go to grid, which you can find in elements. And if you go all the way down to grid, you take the grid over and you drop it and drag it in here. What this does is automatically allows you to drag the picture in there and it just goes to whatever size. So for instance, I've already uploaded a couple pictures. If I want to drop that in there, boom, it's immediately there. Now, if I want to resize this image, what I can do is I can hit resize, and the images all have sizes to them. So for instance, if I was going to use this as a background picture, that I know is the background picture, and I'll show you how I know that when we go into the funnel. But as you can see, it's already got the sizes associated in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here, 1734 by 697. I'm going to hit resize, and now it automatically resizes the image. And then I take this and just get it to where I want it to be. Perfect. And then most importantly, so then you don't lose it, come in here and title it background or whatever it's being used for, and then just put the sizes next to it so then you remember what they are. All right. And then when it comes to downloading the actual image, I'm going to go ahead and hit download. I'm going to select JPEG, and I usually like to do anywhere from 65 to 75 qualities, so then the size isn't big, which we want to make sure that the size is small, because the larger the image is, the more background time it takes, and it's going to make the images slower. It's actually saying that's really, really big. We can probably get away with 65. 65 makes it a medium, and I'm going to go ahead and download it. And now I have it downloaded as a background. The reason you're going to do this is you're going to want to do this for the funnel has you build these out. So then you can make the adjustments easily on the page instead of going crazy trying to like resize, cropped, and everything else. I just find this way easier to do. All right, now that that's done, and I did this to all my images, which I already have, you now can go ahead and let's go into the funnel and take a look. Now, we're going to want to clone this funnel. It's got 5 different parts. We're going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different pages. And we're probably going to leave the terms and conditions out in the privacy policy, but we're going to show you how to walk through it anyway. I'm going to go to the sales page, and that's what I'm going to work on first, and then I'm just going to keep going through the products. Now, just to give you an idea how these funnels work, remember those images that we were talking about all the different sizes? Now, notice how they match right here. So I know that this is the background that they're using here, and that's the size. If I scroll down a little bit more, I see this image, and now I see what I want to use on that image, and there's the size, and so forth and so on. So that's why I said, when it comes to making these images, having this up so then you can resize this is really important because it makes it go a little bit quicker. Okay, now that you fully understand that, let's go ahead and dive into it. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to come over here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this funnel. I'm going to come to the 3 little dots in FG funnels. I'm going to go ahead and hit clone. And I'm going to type in whatever I'm going to call this funnel. This is going to be the automations workshop. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and click funnel and click clone. I'm going to give it a few minutes. I'm going to refresh. And the funnel is here. And this is the funnel that I'm going to work in. Now, like I said, we're going to work on the first funnel page, which is going to be this one here. I'm going to go ahead and hit edit. And I'm going to start going through it. The first thing I do right before I start is I pick my typography, which is going to be the text that I'm going to be using throughout this whole entire thing. I'm not going to be using the one they suggested. And I'm going to use Poppins, which is a font that I use that's associated with my brand. So come over here. That's going to be for all the headlines, as long as I can find it. You can pick whatever one you want. But for myself, I'm going to pick Poppins as soon as I can find it. There it is. And then for the content font is Railway. Okay. And I have this all. And the text is going to be black, so I'm going to leave that the same. And I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And we're going to talk about SEO metadata in a second because that's going to be next. Beautiful. Okay. The next step that I do is I come over here and I'm just going to click anywhere. It really doesn't matter. What I want to do is I want to select some colors and I want to add my color palette. Now I have a particular brand just like everybody else does. So I'm going to select the colors that I'm using with my brand. And I'm going to go ahead and add the custom color. This is going to be Nuno Red. Okay. And I'm going to add all my colors because what's cool is I can then in turn add these colors to anywhere that I want. And obviously that's not going to be the one we're going to be leveraging. We're going to keep it to the white, but this is the way you want to load your colors. And then I'm going to come over here and this is going to be Nuno Gray. All right. And I'm going to add that color. Okay. Notice it keeps switching it, but that's okay. And then I'm going to add another one, which is my blue, Nuno Blue. And you're going to see why this is so important because it's going to make the process way easier than you imagine as you keep building this thing out. All right. And then we're going to do a darker gray or a lighter gray, I should say. We're going to add one more. And this is going to be Nuno Black. Right. And then I'm going to do 2, 3, 1, blah, blah, blah. And again, you'll have your own brand colors and the things you want to pick. But for now, we're going to do that. All right. So now that I have my color selected, I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to hit save. And I'm also going to do the SEO title now. I'm going to go to my copy. Now, inside the actual course, they go through like how to write your copy and they give you a template. I literally used the template. I used Jasper AI and I also used ChatGPT to help me come up with some of the wording. And I created all my wording for this in order to get going. So I'm going to take a lot of these and I'm going to paste them in the title. All right. And then like that, I'm going to have it all in here. And then my keywords are going to be marketing automations. as long as I can spell right today. And I'm going to put myself as the author. All right, awesome. And then the image, I already created a ticket image. And again, we're not going to go over this because this is going to be something that you're going to do as you're working through this. And I'm going to update my meta tags. Great. So now I have everything that I'm ready to go with this particular thing. And we're going to go step by step. So the first background image I've already created. So it's something, I want to do something that's automation. So I created a background that would do that. And I'm going to click in here and I'm going to replace the background. Now, the background that I decided to use, let me go ahead and upload the folder. Go to my downloads. And remember those sizes and why it was important? This is why. All right. And it's got like a little bit of a gray fade. Let's see. Heavy fade. We're going to do a light fade because I want it to show. Beautiful. We're not going to have any early bird pricing. So anything that I don't need, that's all I'm going to do is delete it. So this is a row. Ooh, kind of tricky. There you go. I'm just going to get rid of it. And this is a CSV editor. So all I'm going to do is change the line. Okay. We are going to do white and probably that gray. Where is that line? You know what? Why don't we do darker blue in mine? Hey, let's try that red, see what happens. See if I do that red. And take. Save. See, and the line shows, but you know what? I don't know if I want that line either, so I'm going to get rid of it. And now, cool, I got that automations in the background, and I can make this a little transparent. Too transparent. What we're going to do is we're going to select the transparent scale, and we're going to make it a little white. I don't like that at all, so we're just going to go back to the white. Okay, cool. So, and the reason I did that is because I just wanted to see how it would look. And you know what I'm going to do is I am going to add a little bit of padding on the top. Actually, we're going to add a little margin on the top. Nope. Padding is what I want. A little bit more. So it shows a little bit of the automations in the background, which is cool. Now, I made my own ticket. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change this image to the one I created. And you're like, well, how did you create that ticket? I literally used Canva and I typed in ticket. And I made it a PNG. And there was so many examples here. As you could see, I didn't like the ticket they had, so I recreated mine. And I just went ahead and updated this. Now, mind you, I am no person that is super awesome at design. That's more into my partner. But what I wanted to do is just make it so super easy that I can actually launch this. And I can go back and eventually change this if I want to and so forth and so on. But for now, I kind of like the way it looks. And I'm going to go ahead and move forward, right? So I'm going to go over here and we are going to just start replacing some of the copy based on what I wrote. Now my copy is obviously going to be different. There's some spacing here that I can get rid of. And because it's such a bigger, yep, that's right. And then come over here. Oh. And again, it's got extra spacing and all I'm going to do is move that. Now, you see how this is? It looks like it's got some padding in between up top here, or this does. And what I want to do is get rid of the padding a little bit. Oh, look, and even the image in the background is starting to come up a little bit, which is great. And then I even might want to do a little bit of, it's got a little bit of padding in the bottom, and that's for this, which is okay. But I am liking that. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Great. So this is all set. And then I kind of want that bold, so I'm going to bold it now. So click on that, and I'm going to highlight it all, and I'm going to bold it. Now, mind you, this is going to be a longer video because we have to go through all these little changes as we go through. And then here, we have the date. The date is going to be, and I'm going to go ahead and modify the date. I'm going to pause the video to do that real quick so I can keep this video a little short. And let me continue on with doing all this. So again, I'm going to use one of my colors for the buttons. So I selected the button. I'm going to come in here and we're going to use my red. Beautiful. And then this background, I think it's time to move this to my background color, which is going to be this. I don't mind the gray, but I think we're going to go with the blue. And it did darken everything, but that's okay. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to change all this bold text to white. And I'm just going to go ahead and continue on. So I'm going to come over here, and in here I'm going to change the wording, right? I did it a little bit differently. So what I did is I created, oops, come over here. Awesome. And then come back, and then all of a sudden just want to make sure that, again, this is all in white. And I'm going to bold this part. Now notice again, I am not a super design guy, but I wanted to show you how anybody can do this, especially if you don't know design. And again, this is not my lettering. So what we're going to do is, again, change that to white. And then this is going to be the bullet points. Going to change these up a little bit too. Let's go back over there because the bold wasn't tested. Right? And then I'll go back and underline and everything else. But so far, it's looking pretty good. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the bullets. And I'm probably going to stop right after the first testimonial and walk through the whole entire thing. Because all I'm technically doing is taking these step-by-steps and doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I'm going to kind of speed up the video a little bit and just work silently so you guys can see me adding the different things as far as the pictures and everything else. But the goal of it is to keep it super simple and not modify too much so you can launch quicker. So I'm just going to do the bullets next. And when it comes to the bullets, same thing. You're going to want to do white as the background color, right? And then the icon, I'm going to do a little bit something different. I want like a checklist. I want the circle. And I'm going to do, let me see if I can get away with the rope. Nope, that's going to be the color for that. The icon color I want differently. The icon color I want kind of okay. I'm not really a big fan. Yeah, that looks really good right there. Perfect. It's coming out really good. I like actually the script there, it makes sense. And then I'm going to just copy my first bullet. And what I like to do is, because sometimes this gets a little wonky when you do it the wrong way. Yeah, see, it shows up on the next line. And you're just going to copy one by one, right? Notice all I'm doing is just copy and pasting from what I already previously wrote. And again, not an expert whatsoever in design, but I wanted to show you how even the person who's not that skilled in design can easily get this to go. All I did so far was change a couple colors. I'm modifying a few things here and there, removing the things I don't want, and making it as easy as possible for me to do as I go through. Awesome. Now, remember that picture again. Now, I've already had this picture, so I'm going to come over here. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to create a folder, and I'm going to do inside of media. That's all I did. If you guys are like, how did I do that real quick? I clicked on the picture, and it took me to the media folder. And all I'm doing is creating a folder inside here. So then I can keep all my pictures organized. Boom. And then all I'm going to do is drag them in there. So then I can keep it really organized just in case I want to change something. I'm going to click on my folder. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and upload my next file. And I will go with, I believe it's this one. Awesome. Perfect. See how that immediately goes in when you resize it in Canva, which is great. And what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to do a video. So I'm going to delete this image here. I'm going to put my dear friend and mentor here, Mr. Matt Decino. And I'm going to actually leave it the way it needs to because I don't want to really, change it too much. And I'm going to go ahead and upload my video. So I'm going to go into my YouTube channel and find it. I'm going to go ahead and grab his video, like I mentioned. And I grabbed this quote already. Awesome, there he is. Very one of the smartest people I know right there. Awesome. And then from here, I kind of like the way that's flowing. I don't know if I'm in love with the color yet, but I can go back and change that. And now I'm up to this area. So I'm going to pause again and I'm going to add my images. And now I'm just going to kind of go silent and walk you through exactly what I'm doing so you can see it really fast paced and see how we're going back in and we're adjusting. But as you can see, this is going very quickly and very nicely. I'm building out a full funnel other than working on the copy, which again, is something that was super easy as we kind of build everything out. And I'm just going to add a couple features and see if I can add a little bit more to it and customize it. But I'm just going to fast forward through a lot of this so you can see it. So just follow along. See, here I ran into a little bit of an issue, so I kind of wanted to see how I walk through this. All right, so I didn't like where things were, so I'm going to create a 3-column area here. And again, you can work through the different CSS and everything else. I just like to make it super easy because again, my goal is to launch this as easily as possible. And what I want to do is duplicate the rows. As a matter of fact, I'll do this. Right, so we are all set here. I'm going to change the background a little bit here. Let's see how darker gray looks. Too dark. That's going to blend in. Way too bright. It's no good. You know what? I might actually do this. Switch this over here. See, and you can mess around with the padding and making it sure, like, you know, again, I might not like these margins per se. I might want to add a little bit more margin to the bottom. And you can play around with this to make it any which way you want. I try not to go too crazy because if the second I do, things just start not really working the way they need to. And then, as you can see, now I'm trying to find the color we had before. Like, I'm not super excited about this color, but I'm not like hating it either. Yeah, that's better. And then the background color I can come in here and change. Red. So all the colors are coming together here. And then again, not super great at like, you know, figuring out color schemes and all that, but I do want it to match, right? And I have like my red buttons everywhere. I have my typography the way I want it to, and then I can just have it going through the whole entire thing. But the whole point, it's got to flow, right? So you see how I have that darker gray and then I have this light gray. That is definitely not going to work for me. So let me change this up again one more time. I think I am going to have to go to the darker gray and then just change the font colors to white. So what I'll do is come back over here. Again, I'm not going to bore you with this stuff, but just wanted to show you how to work through some of the things as I encounter problems. And sometimes the undo button is your friend. As you can see, I'm going to go ahead and do a YouTube video here instead too. All right, so we've worked all the way down and now it gets to the part that I always get a little nervous on is the CSVG editor, the CSVG editor. So I'm going to come in here and I am going to attempt to do my best here. And apparently you walk through, it's going to be white, that's cool. Outer circle, it's pretty neat. Let's see if we can do red. Nope, that's definitely not what I wanted. Let's go back in. And all I did was jump out because like I said, this is not my strong suit. Do the red. I want that outer circle, but I can't get to that outer circle. Oh, that looks so cool. Look at that. All my colors in that guarantee. Now, all I did was kept playing around with it and selecting the colors in here. And then I'm just going to scroll down a little bit. I'm going to hit yes, save. Look at that. Really, really cool how that came out. And then I want this background color I want to touch them that darker gray that I talked about, which is here. And then all I'm going to do is keep changing the buttons and working through the buttons. So let's go. This is blending in. I don't like that. So let me see if I can do maybe black. Looks a little bit better. And then white. I'm just going to make everything white, make it super easy. Change the bottom part. There we go. And I wanted to keep that blue in there because it looks pretty cool. This is the only last part that I want to change to white. Right, and then I'm going to just change the wording. Right, so I'm going to go silent again real quickly and do this last part. Right, I'm actually pretty content with everything that we did here. It looks really, really good. And now actually, let me just change this one thing. Let's change that to white. That looks pretty good. And okay, we're ready to go into the next part. So we can do the next pages. So I'm going to go ahead and pause for today's video. And then in the next videos, we're going to do the next pages.